Delete again. And that's GG. I think that's game. Let's go for a nice win. Very, very nice. We locked down the Grand Blue player, shut them down, and deleted them. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing another deck profile from the new set, G-Set 6. And that is Link Joker's Deletors. Now Deletors, this is not the first time they're in this game. In fact, I recently just did another deck profile for Deletors. But this time around, they just got some new support with the all-new keyword, Vanish Delete, where instead of deleting your opponent's Vanguards, we're deleting units from the drop zone, and at a certain number, instantly win the game. So, without further ado, let's talk about this Vanish Delete Deleter build. So, starting off with, we have a new starter. We have the Sprout Deleter Lucci. Lucci is interesting because when it's retired for the cost of a deleter, you can choose one of your opponent's back row rearguards and lock it, and Vanish Delete one of your opponent's units in the drop zone at random. It also has resist instead of the cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects. So this is very nice. It's just a really sticky body and can be used whenever you need to proc the cost, the skill, and start locking and Vanish Deleting. Now let's start with the grade 1s really quickly. We play 4 of the countercharging PGs. Counter Blast is a little bit heavy sometimes, and this is definitely helpful. The new Deleter PG, of course, has a skill in compared to its old version, but the skill is pretty win more. Like, it just continues your opponent's delete, and to get rid of that delete state isn't that challenging right now with strides involved. So it feels like if your opponent has no resources to stride and they're stuck in delete, well, you probably would have already won, right? You're probably in a winning position already, so you don't need that. Instead, Cosmo Wrath gives you that one counter blast to give you more options, more plays. I definitely think that it's more helpful. Sometimes it sucks that it doesn't have the deleter name, but in what scenario do you want to commit a PG and retire it for a skill? Like, really rarely, right? So that's why I don't think it's that necessary. We play 3 of the Gunnick, Soul Blast 2 draw 1 is just really great in a deck that doesn't really plus. We play 4 of the Drown, which is a new unit. Rearguard circle at the end of the battle. This unit boosted Deleter Vanguard. Put this into your soul, discard a card to draw 2 and Vanish Delete 1. So this is really nice because you can do this as soon as possible. It doesn't require your opponent's Vanguard to be deleted, and just gets you to cycling your cards, helps you get more soul to use Gunnick. I just really like that card, and you can use it as soon as turn 1 if you're going second. And lastly, we play 2 of the Onangil. Onangil is interesting if your Vanguard's a deleter. Put this in your soul to Vanish Delete 2. Now, on paper, this might not seem that amazing, you know, but your Igor and your other units do have additional skills with each Vanish Delete, each additional Vanish Delete, and the cost of putting this into your soul actually helps units like Gunnick be able to draw more cards for you, so that is nice as well. For the grade 2s, we're still playing 4 of the Gael, just locking cards are good. 4 of the Gieli, which is really similar named actually. When placed, if your Vanguard's a grade, retire one of your other deleter rearguards to choose one of your opponent's front row rearguards, retire it, and then Vanish Delete one thing at random, give it plus 2k. So it can be an 11k beater. You're giving access to one more attack to the face, and it's just a really solid card. I think it's really great. It is locked to Grey Vanguard, which is why we're playing a Grey-based Vanguard, but you know, it's solid. And this one doesn't require Grey Vanguard, so it's just really splashable as well. Lastly, we play 4 of the Giron. This is a very nice grade 2. 7k, but it has the following skill. Rearguard circle during both players' turn. This unit gets plus 1k for each face-down card in your opponent's bind zone, which means for each Vanish Deleted unit. At the end of your battle, your Deleter Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Choose one card at random and Vanish Delete it. So this is really, it's quite buff. It can get really beefy. So, you know, earlier into the game, maybe it's not that big, but for every attack, it gets bigger and bigger. And then later into the game, maybe, you know, a lot of the decks do have multi-attack options or like retire options, like Royal Paladins has your Blaster Blades or Gears or Kagero and Orkami. They do have their retire options, but against clans that don't, this card is a real pain in the ass, especially with back row locking that you see from starters and other skills as well from the deck. It just means that they can't really hit those intercept numbers. They might have to commit that Vanguard 26k swing to the Giron and so missed out on their Vanguard on attack skills, which is quite nice. And lastly, we play 1 of the countercharger Jail. Helps you countercharge and slow charge 1 to help you proc more Gunnicks as well. So that's nice. For the main grade 3, we have the Greyon. which lets you delete with Camelast 2, retire Deleter, and also lets you lock a back row and Vanish Delete with something from the drop zone. In addition, it has an on place, Vanish Delete 1, and when ruled upon by Greydol, you get to call the starter from the drop zone back to the board. So Greydol was a promo. It's pretty solid support. You can put a Grey on, the previous grade 3 from your soul to the drop zone to, well, then retire Rearguard and then delete your opponent's Vanguard and Vanish Delete something. So it's a free delete, which you don't really see much. Then on hit, Camelast 1, check top 10, add a Grey on from those top 10 to your soul, and then choose one of your opponent's Rearguards to retire it, and then choose something to Vanish Delete. So the nice thing is that, well, even if you do miss the ride, I guess you can somehow salvage it. But even if you miss the Grey on, you can still conduct the rest of the skill, which is retire 1 and then Vanish Delete 1. So that's nice as well. And lastly, we play one of the Legion. Legion's still fine, helps you when you're lower in your deck count, and also it's a Camelast 1, discard 1 to delete, which is not bad. And for heal guards, of course. Next for the grade 4s, our main stride target is the Judgment Messiah. It is a really bad card, but it's all we got. On hit, lock 1, and then maybe unlock 1, but generally not unlock 1. We play the Harmonics, just in case for the Mirror Mash, against Chaos maybe. The Harmonics is still nice. For the big crunch, which helps in a crunch, you just lock that one column down and it's good to go. And the main grade 4 stride, original Deleter Igor. Now this is your main stride target. After you hit GB2, of course, if you have a Deleter Heart, Camelast 1, retire one of your Deleter Rearguards to delete 1 and then lock a back row. And then Vanish Delete. And then if your opponent's 5 or more in the Vanish Delete, then you draw a card. If you have your opponent's 10 or more, you get to retire one of your opponent's Rearguards. And then if you have 13 or more and your opponent's at 4 damage, you win the game. So that's really cool. How often are you going to do that and Vanish Delete 13 cards? Really, really not likely. But it actually did happen for me once. And it's quite neat, I guess. But generally speaking, you probably already won at that point. So don't really aim for it. So basically, what's the winning image of the deck? If you're going first, you have the starter. You're going to put it in the corners because you want to keep your Drown active as soon as possible. Ride Drown or the Onigil. And then grade 2, we're going to ride something like the one of these grade 2 9Ks. If you're playing against, generally speaking, a non-retire clan or something that doesn't have removal very accessibly, then you can commit the gear on to start Vanish Deleting. Grade 3, this is your main ride target. And you can start deleting stuff if you're going first. If you're going second, maybe consider going to the Judgment so that you have the GB2 options ready to go the next turn. And really rarely you transition to Greydol, but it's still nice when you are lacking in Counterblast and Legion as well, if you feel like you want to do that as well. So generally speaking, the deck, one of the weaknesses is that it doesn't plus enough in terms of drawing cards or superior calling and whatnot. They did get some units like the left and right hand, but they were too janky for me and they were too situational. Like this is an 8K, generally speaking, not that good. It doesn't hit numbers by itself. But if your opponent's deleted and it's a gray, you can call the grade 2 and then do all that stuff. Like it's cool, but I don't know if I want to dedicate like 5 slots for this little combo when I can just have more options in terms of aggression through just locking stuff or just retiring stuff. So that's basically my list. If you wanted to play more Igors, definitely go do that. I just find that the big crunch can definitely help in a crunch, and they are Persona, so like honestly you can only use it twice at this moment. You can play more Igors instead, you can play 4 Igors if you want, but right now, honestly, you can win some games with just being on grade 3, which is really nice. And the Igor is nice in the way that it helps you draw cards, retire stuff, and all that. The win condition is really rare, but it can happen, and it definitely happened to me once out of like, I don't know, 1 in 10, 15, 20 games, I guess. So that's basically it. Let's go into the game and see how this deck performs on the ladder. So, yeah, Deletors. I really like the archetype. To be frank, I played this game, this archetype in the TCG as well. But overall, it is very much a fun build. It's not a very competitive build. It just doesn't generate enough card advantage to be competitive, right? If only the grade 2 7K that scales has resist. If it did, then I think it could definitely have a good shot. But right now, it's just too easy to be retired, and then it just kind of feels bad. So we're going to be playing against VP Farmer. So I guess I will see you all in the next game. And we are back. Cleared up the VP farmer. Took me long enough, but let's get straight, hopefully, to a proper game where we can showcase the Vanish Delete mechanic. I think technically speaking, it's not like a keyword. I was reading the wiki page for the official term. You can see I copy and pasted in the description box and all. But we are going to go first against Narukami, I believe. And this is our main right target. That's cool. You know, the Onagil is fine. Gaily is sure. Yeah, the great thing about Gaily is that it's not GB restricted, so you can retire as soon as possible. Like turn 2, you want to go for it? Sure thing. Definitely can work like that. Let's ride the 7K. It's fine. So you might be wondering, well, Narukami does the bind thing, right? So we're basically taking that, but doing it a little bit better. Because Narukami does benefit off its bind zone sometimes, but now that we Vanish deleted it, they can't access it. So it's nice like that. I guess it's interesting like that. It's super niche, but I guess there is a difference between banishing and Vanish deleting. Binding and Vanish deleting. Vanish is Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyways, do we want to play a little aggressive or not? I guess maybe we can keep this for later. We can just attack. And we got 2 PGs in our hand that we just started off with, so that's nice. 1 PG to the damage, that's awesome. And yeah, like Narukami, I think the more popular variants, like Vermilion, whatever, Vanquisher, they do play Vermilion, right? So by Vanish deleting, we are going to lock them out of their Legion, which I guess is helpful. Fortunately, they didn't commit anything, so on place eventually doesn't happen. But that's okay. We can still delete, right? I think that's still a nice play. So let's do draw 1. Okay. Delete that. Lock the starter as well. So I'm gonna call this out. And this. Start boinks for 5. 9 helps us soul charge 1 and counter charge 1. No defensive, which is really great. And attack. So no triggers, but that's okay. I want to proc the skill just to cycle through my hand and hopefully draw into like a stride fodder or something. Nope, but that's okay. Still have 2 cards, and we drew a good deck. We have 2 soul, and we can use that to draw as well. Or the Vanquisher. I guess one of the bad things about Greyon is that you don't have the you must discard a card to ride thing, but I guess it's only really relevant on your grade 2 to grade 3 turn, so it's not that big of a deal. But still, instead we got that 1 lock, so that's cool, I guess. Deleting the grade 3, they have the resist, which is a pain in the ass because then we can't target it, so that's not fun. But that's okay. I mean, next turn we're probably gonna be striding anyways, so let's do that instead. There's 2 cards in the okay, 3 cards in the drop zone. 4 cards actually. Draw a trigger, heal. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, they're binding our stuff. They should bind the starter because we can respawn it, right? So knowing the matchup is important. Definitely can help. Just stride the judgment, I guess. Might keep the Gael because we still need that for Legion, I guess. So I guess it's more valuable in our hand. So then we can time it right to put in the drop zone. So this has so let's to draw 1. This is pretty big, right? I guess I'll still call this out. That's fine. So then this, we get to Vanish Delete 1. Draw a trigger, sacking is nice. Hit, lock the 7K. And we get to Vanish Delete 1 as well. Not unlock. That's a PG, that's awesome. So yeah, one of the weaknesses of the deck is that we don't have the resist grade 2s anymore. Well, even before then, it was a Starvator, not a Deleter, so it wasn't like the best, but still, being able to have a sticky unit in the front row is still nice. And this game we got pretty lucky. We saw a lot of defensive draw triggers, which is why the hand is healthy. But generally speaking, you do need to rely on your Drowns and the Gunnix to have a healthy supply of cards, and so you can actually play the game. Otherwise, it's really tough because your skills require retiring and all that. So it's not the easiest deck to manage in terms of card advantage. So this way they have the grade 2 active. I would put it on the other circle, but I guess they don't want to have one back row locked and one front row locked on two different columns. So I guess that's fine as well. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I guess they just gave up. Okay. So we didn't really get to properly showcase this. Most of the stuff we did was just sack hard, which is a shame. But I guess what we did showcase was using Drown, using Gunnix, drawing cards, and I guess sometimes that's more than enough. Card advantage wins games. You know, it's a card game after all, right? So I guess that's basically it. So that's something. Let's go into game 2 and see how we can do. All right, this is Granblue against Granblue. They do have retire with that Cannoneer, but if we have 2 of those 7Ks and if they're chunky, that could be really good. Going first. I don't know. I guess this is going first. Yeah, let's try to draw into a grade 3. A little bit uncomfortable. I had one game where I just got grade stuck, and the deck doesn't function without riding properly up. So that does really suck. Unlike certain decks like Bermuda, which is like, you know, I missed. That's still fine. I can still win games. Now this isn't one of them. I'm gonna ride the Gunnix, so I can use the Drown and hopefully get into the Gray next turn. 5k body. If they're gonna bully me, that means that they're gonna commit more stuff into the board, which means that there's more stuff we can bash to lead. If they put the starter in the front row, yo, we're gonna punish that really, really hard. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you for not respecting this matchup. Oh, yes, very good. Very, very good. I love this. So, Deletors is super underrated. To be fair, it's not a great deck, but not knowing what your opponent does could... Oh man, no, it could be bad. It could be bad. So I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm just gonna ride this. Yeah, this is fine. They're gonna do their hollow thing, right? Okay, battle. Ping the rear guard. Heal is good. Heal is good. So this is gonna proc. Okay, and this is gonna proc. We're gonna discard. We're gonna discard the Gradle. Draw 2. Okay, drawing triggers, but that's fine. You know, our rear guard is getting chunkier and chunkier. It's great. And I guess these could be Stratfires. Positively, just trying to spin it positively. It's not the best situation, but it is the hand we're dealt, right? Gianna, Mario, Negro Lazy, giving me more stuff to Vanish Delete. Isn't that great? Thank you so much for your support. Alright, Crayon. Not too great here, frankly. I don't know if deleting is a great option here. It's not like we can really take advantage of that board. So maybe I'll keep it for later. Maybe I'll just call it and then swing like this and just Vanish Delete that grade 2. Unfortunately, I did try the stands, but you just don't have space for them. So that is tough. 10k intercept is still a nuisance for a lot of decks out there. Granblue, you can still hit over it, but it can be annoying. Striding. Like the Ghosty, still gets to the grade 2s and stuff you need, but definitely not as flexible as against a non-deleter player. Just because, you know, the grade 2s, the starter would still be in play, right? Let's see what they're gonna mill. Negro Lazy is probably one of them. But what else? Alright, they chose the Countercharger and the Negoruk to hit numbers. Stride skill. Oh, the Cannoneers are all in the damage zone. That's a shame. Too bad for them. Negro Lazy. What are they going to Superior Call? Yeah, what are they going to Superior Call? I don't know. Kind of weird. I guess they want to hit 11k by itself. I guess they want something to hit 10k. Yeah, okay. So 12, 11, and then 26, and then maybe one more swing, I guess. Or 11 and then 12 with the booster. I guess 5 with the booster does the same thing, right? No? Then you get the... what do you get? Sure. Then what are you Superior Calling? Because you can call anything on the other side and hit like 16. A little slow turn for our Grand Blue player, still thinking through their plays. It is awkward. I don't think a lot of people have experience against the Deletor matchup, which is super fair. You know, it's not that great of a deck as I just mentioned. Hello. Hello. They're a little low on hand. I'm wondering if striding is the play or if deleting is the play. Okay, they're seeing some triggers, seeing more than us. Well, in terms of trigger checking. Okay, is striding better or is deleting better? No stride skill definitely hurts though. Maybe I'll just I think striding still might be better, just because we do, if we see a heal, it's really big. So let's just stride. Judgment Messiah. Okay, that's fine. Maybe that'll help us draw some cards. 10k. 11k. And hopefully see some heals. Not on their side, but hopefully we see some heals. Come on. Come on. Come on. Draw. That's not what we're looking for. That's a heal. Okay, we're gonna lock this. Negro Bone. Not unlock. And then we're gonna use Giron skill. And we use this. Just got the grade 3, that's fine. Draw 2. Okay, we got 2 PGs. Okay. That's a little comfier, I guess, but I still think that we might need a 6 damage shield at this point. Losing that Negro Bone is still nice though. Okay, Night Rose. Night Rose is gonna be a pain in the ass. 12k intercept, not that good in this matchup honestly, because they have units like Rook or Gian Mario that just hits 12 as well. So, and we're lazy, call something else out. Hits 11 key numbers, good for them. Doesn't this need to hit Vanguard for the counter charge? A little bit of mismanagement in the counterblast side of things. So this could be how we win because of our host misplay. Okay, calling the Negro Rook. So yeah, there's no way to get the counterblast 2, right? Okay, still seeing triggers. Cool. PG. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. We have one more turn. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see what we can do with this. Five. If we delete with Igor, we get to draw one card. So I guess we'll do that. And of course, the heal that we requested is in our hand right now. They have 5 right now, 7, 8, 9. That's only 9. That's not great, but all right. Let's just use the Igor first. Right, this is fine zone 5. Yeah. At least he'll give us one draw. At least he'll give us one draw. Lock this. Draw the heal, of course. Alright, I'm just gonna call this out and retire it. That way we get one more retire. And 11 and 26. Please, a heal. Draw. A PG is nice. Okay, heal. Heal, that's good. That's great. Okay, that's a PG. That's fine. But with 3 cards left with no stride skill, this could be not that great for our opponent. I think this is not the best situation. 2 locked back rows as well. No access to Negrabone. That misplay without the counterblast for G Persona is quite big. I think they overextended. Didn't really need to do all that shenanigans, and it definitely hurt. Going into the Night Storm instead. Okay, this is a first for me. Haven't ever seen a Gramdu player going to the Night Storm intentionally. But I'm just gonna stride with it. Okay. Take it in stride. There's 5 cards left in the deck. Bandit Rum here. On hit, Superior Call something from the drop zone, give it +2. Of course, without the back row, it is. Can't really hit those numbers that you need. It's like Negro Rook, I guess. Rook is a good card. And plays, give it +3. Vanguard into rear guard, that's really tough. So their hand is probably full of defensives, PGs or heals or whatnot. So in place, and then it's hollowed, so it's gone. There's no. How many cards in the bind zone? 8? 8 gives us 1 draw. I think I'd rather keep the defensives in our hand. And I will use this. At least it'll give us 1 lock as well, which is nice. Lock the Negro Bone. Find something else. Cool. Swing for 9. Swing for 11. Last draw trigger. Asking for PG. That's PG. Opponent's 1 card left. Draws for 2. What kind of options do they have left? I wonder. But a bind zone, they're at 9. 6 cards left. And you can see, like, stalling out the game, 13 is really rough. 13 is really rough. Like, if you're playing that left and right arm, they don't really even help that much. Like, maybe 1 more. I don't know. Don't think it's a big deal. Do we stride? Not necessary, I don't think. No triggers left, right? Okay, then it's safe to do this. Draw 1. And just delete again. Lock that. And that's GG. I think that's game. There's no way we lose this. Yeah, there's only 2 defensive left. That's the last heal. So that is game. No triggers left. Let's go for a nice win. Very, very nice. We locked down the Gramdu player, shut them down, and deleted them from their victory, I guess. So yeah, that's basically it. You know, I honestly think that if they didn't mismanage the counterblast on the stride turn with the grade 4 Night Rose, I definitely think that they could win. But that's, I guess, the state of the game right now. I think it's definitely at a point of the game where there is more skill involved than in previous metas, just because you have so many options and a lot of different plays that you can get to. Anyways, that's basically it for this video. I hope I got to showcase Vanish Delete as a mechanic. I didn't get to showcase the 13 deletes and kind of win condition, but it's definitely achievable. Whether or not that's the reasonable thing to do, I don't know, that's up to you, I guess. If you want for memes, go for it. But generally speaking, if you can go for the memes, you're probably winning already, so might as well just win the game. But as you can see, deleting is still really helpful. Even though your opponent can just stride on top of it, you're still removing their stride skills, which is helpful in situations. You have access to front row retires, you have access to front row locks, and beefy intercepts, which is really nice, and more draw power than before. So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our members, Kamui, Mello, Casey, and ZBD. Thank you for being members, and if you like the video, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to see even more than on the YouTube side, consider checking my Twitch, link in the description down below. So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you look forward to more deck profiles just like this one. Alright, stay safe, have a good one. On to the next one. Bye.